Walter was not happy with his wife. Just then another woman gets murdered in the city. Walter thinks that her husband has murdered her. This makes him very upset. The movie starts and we are shown a cinema hall in which a man named Marty has come to watch the movie. He also brings one of his workers so that he can see Marty for the sake of witnessing. Marty leaves the cinema hall in the middle of the film and come back at the end. After that we see that Walter, after finishing his work, go to meet with his wife whose name was Clara. Clara's mother's health is always bad. So she is going to meet her mother. Walter was very excited that day. He speaks, "My story published today." Walter works in an architecture firm. Clara is not happy to see him excited. He wants to drop Clara to his house, but Clara refuses. Here we come to know that the relationship of these two is not progressing. When they got married, they used to be very happy. They used to do frequent trips where they enjoy a lot, but now it's all over. All happiness was gone. Walter feels offended and goes back home and get to his work. In the next scene, we see that Martin's wife is dead and Lawrence has got the task of investigating it. Lawrence is a very good detective. He is very intelligent. When Clara comes back home, there is a party going on in her house and she doesn't like seeing it. She always complains to Walter. Walter always tries to handle the situation. In this party one of Walter's friends come with a girl named Ellie. Then Ellie and Walter both start talking. Clara doesn't like seeing it. Now they talk about each other's work. Here it is also revealed that Ellie is a singer. Then they have a friend who come between them and three talk come to an end. At night, Clara asks Walter about Ellie. Here Clara beginning to be suspicious. Walter said that there is no such thing between him and Ellie. Today Walter want to make love with Clara, but Clara refused for that. Here we got to know that there is no physical relationship between them from long time. In next scene Lawrence comes to meet Martin. He had full suspicion that Martin had killed his wife. He also said to Martin that no matter how intelligent the killer is, he always do something wrong. By the time Walter goes back home, Clara is still angry. She says that you spend all your time with Ellie. Walter doesn't want to fight one more time, so he leaves the house. In next scene we see Lawrence's senior asking to him about his case. Lawrence told them that I would have caught Martin, but he has a worker who has testified that Martin was in the cinema hall on the day of murder. We cannot arrest him now, but I will do it soon. The person with whom Martin works. Lawrence go to ask some questions about the case. His name is Tony. But Martin see them and speaks to Tony. He also gives him some money so that he keeps his mouth shut, and he tells Tony that no one should know the truth. When Walter returns home the next day, Clara again starts fighting him over Ellie. She says that you and Ellie are having an affair. Walter tries to compromise. He tells how well we lived before, now you are suspicious of everything. He suggests to see a psychiatrist, but Clara always refused to go. Walter gets angry and tells him you stay alone in the house now, and he leaves the house. Then he go into a bar and take some drink where he found a newspaper in which there is murder case of Martin's wife. Walter thinks that Martin has killed his wife. When he go back he see that Clara has tried to commit suicide. Then he take Clara to the hospital. There the doctor says, nothing to worry about, but Clara should see a psychiatrist. Walter tells his friend that he wishes his wife had died. One day, Ellie comes to Walter's house with flowers to meet him. Walter is very surprised. Ellie says that on Saturday your wife go to work, so here I want to meet you. Ellie wants to invite him to a concert. Walter is a little confused but prepares to leave at night. After listening to her song, Walter falls in love with Ellie. After that we see that Clara has recovered and keeps on coming back home. Then she asks Walter that you never leave me. When she comes into the house, she notices the flower given by Ellie and she once again gets angry and start fights with him. Walter was very upset by all this. Then he goes outside and reads about Martin's case in the newspaper, so he wants to meet Martin. When he goes there he sees that Martin has a bookstore. He asks him about the murder of his wife and asks whether his killer is found. Martin gets upset and ignores Walter. When Walter comes home, his wife scolds him. "Today I followed you and you went to meet Ellie." Walter gets angry with this and says that we both cannot live together, we should take divorce. He speaks to Clara about the divorce. But Clara says if you try to take divorce, then I will commit suicide and you are responsible for it. When Walter comes back home the next day, Clara is no longer in the home. Her mother's health has worsened. She has gone to visit her mother. Walter is hurriedly go to the bus stand where he asks Clara, "Why didn't you tell me?" Clara says that I have done things easy for you. Now you live with Ellie, as much as you want. That makes Walter angry and then Clara leaves, but Walter follow Clara. Her bus stops at a hotel, where Walter tries to find out Clara but he failed to find her. In the next scene, Walter comes to the house and his maid says that Clara's mother is dead. Walter wanted to call Clara but it was revealed that Clara has never reached her mother's house. In the next scene, we see the death body of Clara. She died by falling from bridge. Walter felt very bad. Detective Lawrence gets this case also. Lawrence asks Walter if Clara has the power to commit suicide. Walter replies that it is possible because she had tried it before. Lawrence asks Walter what happened on that night. Here Walter reply after leaving Clara he went to see Ellie. Then here we see some scenes in which it is seen that Walter and Ellie is having an affair and on that night they are together making love. The next day Walter tells Ellie that I have told the police about the both of us. Then the Ellie gets angry and she leaves. In the next scene, we see Lawrence coming to meet Martin and he tells him, "Same as your wife was murdered, there has been another murder." And he also says that it is often the husband's hand in the wife's murder. And he says that I am trying to talk to your worker about what happened on that night. Martin is a bit upset by the matter. In the next scene we see Clara's funeral where Walter talks to his friend and tells him that sometimes he wants to kill Clara. His friend has said that there is a big difference between thinking and doing. Don't worry too much. Walter is deeply concerned about Clara's death. His maid also leaves his home. She also believed that Walter had killed Clara. In the next scene Lawrence calls Walter to the police station and there is another man who remember Walter was there in hotel. Then Lawrence asks Walter that you didn't come back home on that night, you follow Clara. He accepts the matter, and said that we are talking about something which was not over. Because of which I went to Clara's to the hotel. But I do not see her anywhere then I assume she probably went ahead by taxi, then I went back home. Lawrence speaks about Martin's case tell him that yours and Martin's case are very similar. Do you know him? Here Walter said I don't know Martin. One day Lawrence comes home to meet Walter. He was with Ellie. Walter hides Ellie, but Lawrence becomes suspicious. He starts checking the things in Walter's room. He finds the newspaper in which there is story about Martin's wife death. Lawrence said it is sure that you told me a lie that you do not know Martin, but here you have kept cutting of the newspaper. Then Walter said that I am a writer, I have to keep these kind of cuttings. I forgot about this one. Walter thinks now he is in trap. He then asks with Ellie and his friend about solution. His friend suggests that you talk to a lawyer, he will give you the right suggestion. Here Walter said I haven't done anything so why should I talk to a lawyer. When Ellie also comes to know about this case, she gets angry and leaves. Then his friend tells that you take leave for a few days. His superiors is also putting a lot of pressure on him that why it is taking so long to resolve this matter. His senior told him you leave the matter but Lawrence decides to resolve the matter. He goes to meet Ellie but Ellie does not talk to him. Then he takes Walter and takes him to Martin and introduce them. And says that both of you are very similar. Now he directly make allegation on Martin that you killed your wife and in your influence, Walter has also killed his wife. Here Martin get angry after hearing this, he says both of you leave this shop. Walter and Ellie also start fighting. Ellie feels that Walter has committed the murder. Walter goes to meet Martin at night. He told him that I know that you have killed your wife. Martin gets angry with him, says that because of you the detective is behind me, please do not come to me. Lawrence is watching Walter when he leaves. Lawrence's suspicion turned out to be true, that Martin and Lawrence already knew each other. Monty gets terrified to see Lawrence approaching Martin and beating him up a lot, and decides that he tells everyone the truth. Martin is very nervous. Now Martin realizes that he doesn't have many ways to go. He has to leave this town, but there is no money. How can he go? Then he goes to Walter and blackmails him that you came before me to get the book. His record is with me. If you give me the money, then I will destroy the record. But if you refuse, I will give it to Lawrence. Walter does not give him money. Instead, he goes to Lawrence and tells the truth about everything. But Lawrence refuses to help Walter. He tells you to lie to me, because of this I can't help you anymore. Tony also comes to the police station at night, where he tells Lawrence about Martin had gone outside for a while on the night when Martin and Tony went to see the movie. Lawrence goes to meet and tells him that every piece of evidence is against him now. No one can save him. Martin's mind was disturbed after hearing all this. He follows Water and invites her into the tunnel. Lawrence also reaches there after chasing these two. Martin goes silent at one point and he attacks Walter, but the one he attacks was Lawrence, and shouts that it was me who killed his wife. Later he saw that the one he had killed was Lawrence, and he also sees that Walter, who is running away, follows him and tries to kill him. But Lawrence's backup comes there and Martin is about to kill Walter, but his backup kills Martin. Walter is injured, but he is still alive. In the midst of all this we can see that Walter is smiling. Walter is injured but still alive. From his smile it is revealed that he had murdered his wife, but now no one will know who killed his wife. He was inspired by the death of Martin's wife. So this is today's story. If you like it, please do like and subscribe to my channel. You will be entertained like this. Thank you.